Hello everyone, my name is Amit from Team Epic Odyssey 19587. Today I'll talk to you guys about 3D printing filaments. So the first type of filament that everyone's probably heard of is called PLA, or polylactic acid, if anyone's super sciencey and wants to know about that. But PLA is probably the most sold 3D printer filament. You can buy it from Matter Hackers, Protopasta, in many different varieties and colors. Like you got red, green, blue, you got your standards, but you can also get wood PLA, carbon fiber PLA, like polycarbonate PLA, some crazy materials. But PLA is also the cheapest for its its value. PLA is like your basically standard and everybody uses PLA, but in some forms, PLA might actually not be what you're looking for. Okay, so what I'd recommend if you need something that's high strength is to go with TPU or PETG. So next I'll talk about ABS. ABS, just don't do ABS. It's not worth it. ABS is more expensive sometimes than PLA, and it's claimed to be stronger, but that kind of depends on what, like, the environment in which you're printing in. You need an enclosure so your printers don't warp, and it gives off some terrible fumes. So I would just not recommend ABS. Next up, we'll talk about TPU. TPU is a type of flexible filament. So for example, like if you had a gear or a part like this in TPU that has delicate teeth, then and the teeth might snap. If you printed it in TPU, the teeth would bend, and it would bend rigidly. So you're dealing with a lot more compression value instead of something brittle like PLA. Like if you were to chuck this at the ground, this would break. But if you were to chuck TPU at the ground, it would not break, right? However, with TPU, you might not want to focus, I mean, we'll show a picture up here. But with TPU, you might not want to focus on high heat parts, because TPU does melt pretty fast. Okay, last one we're going to talk about is PETG, which is a stronger form of PLA. It's like miracle PLA. So for example, PETG is extremely high strength and also high heat. So if you have two parts that are like rubbing against each other like this, then you have two PLA parts that are rubbing against each other, they might do a friction weld, which is not good, and PETG would be a way better scenario in that situation. However, you're looking at a lot more expensive filament per kg, right? It's because, of course, PETG is pretty much just better. It's just built different. And then last thing I want to talk about is 3D printing techniques that you might want to employ to make your prints better. There's actually a type of clear PLA, and a long time ago, during the onset of the 3D printer community, people tried to print clear 3D prints, of course, right? But and there are clear 3D printable filaments out there. But one channel I'd like to advise for you to use is CNC Kitchen, which has this video about printing in clear PLA, which he claims is actually more strong than printing in resin, and resin's like by far one of the strongest. So I would absolutely recommend taking a look at that. And alternatively, like what I just said, you might want to use resin. The problem with resin is your 3D printer is going to be a lot more expensive, and the post-processing is going to take longer than just using FDM. Okay, and that's it. Thanks, guys.
And thank you to our sponsors. Without you, we wouldn't be here where we are today. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Cafe de Khan for sponsoring this video. We really appreciate what you do for us, and thank you so much. And finally, our viewers. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again on our channel soon, watching some more of our FTC content, and we'll see you at Worlds.